All right, we got sound. We got sound. We're live. Saturday show, sports program, live at 3 something.
Whatever
2
time it
something?
is.
Live at whatever
2:44.
time. If I don't see you now, I'll see you some other time. We are live. Not only are we live doing our show, but actually, Mr. Swan is actually up here in person. Let's check this out. Here, okay, hold on. Live.
I'm here. Hey guys, I'm here.
In the same screen we were. So we're here. We're ready to go. I'm stoked. He's jacked. Ready to do this.
That's true.
Didn't even fade out. Didn't even fade out. Just turned it off. Turn off the music. We're done here. Oh. I just thought of something, though.
What?
Hold on. My babies.
It still says hang in there, baby.
No, it should be good.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm going to fix it.
Can they hear us, though?
They can hear us. They can hear every word we say.
Oh.
Then that means they didn't see me get on the damn thing.
That means they didn't even see you walk over here.
That's right. I'll do it again. I'll do the same prop. I don't care.
We're not above that.
Nope.
People,
Now it should be.
People that view the show should know I'm not above most things.
I'm not above them. I'm not under them. I'm not around them. I'm beside them.
Wish I was, though.
Heyo. Welcome up to the promised land. Is it doing it now?
It's same hang in there, baby.
Are you lying to me, boy?
No. I wouldn't do that to you. Wait, we're good.
Okay, good. You got the delay. You just got the delay.
It was just the delay.
This is a delay. Well, that was my bad. Anyway, welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome to Saturday show, special show. Zach's up here. Today's my bachelor party. I'm very excited for that. We are doing the nerdiest of nerd things and doing a good old-fashioned video games and beers. I'm glad you are up here for this, my friend. This is another edition of I Miss You, Man, and then some sports, too.
Yeah. Just a couple of guys talking about stuff, and then occasionally, because it's guy stuff, sports come up.
Working title.
Just because, sometimes when a couple of guys have a conversation with each other, I think sports come up from time to time.
I'm going to take this frame and type that out and turn that into a shirt.
Because sometimes when you got a couple of bros hanging out with each other.
Because when you weigh it out.
Yeah, when you weigh it out from time to time, I'd say that it's possible that, I don't know, probably in like a couple-hour conversation, dudes are probably going to talk about the game. Which game? I don't know.
Well, there was a game and we can talk about that because Golden State yet again beat the Houston Rockets. That is over. Boy, Houston, they're just not going to get over that hump.
If they didn't do it now, they're not.
No, and a lot of people think so. Interestingly enough, I've heard people say that they think this is it for Golden State because Kevin Durant's probably going to go. But as far as I can tell, I think this is it for Houston. They're on the way down.
Yeah.
Golden State's actually fine.
Well, I think this just proves that, as we thought before the season started, Houston was already on the way down.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, they were the first or second best regular season team last year. They were the fourth best regular season team in the West this year.
I mean, what part of the excuse last year, which I could believe it, was that so Chris Paul was injured in that last game, so he wasn't able to play it. Well, they had Chris Paul the whole time this time.
Yeah, and he actually had a really great game.
He did.
Had a great game last night.
And it was a good game in general. It was a good game. It was fun.
Yeah, it was just like very reminiscent of last year, though. Houston, at the end of the game, just disappeared making shots. They just stopped making them altogether. Like Harden and Paul and company, really, and
right.
Gordon had an amazing first 3 quarters of the game. They all disappeared at the end when it mattered. And if every one of your best players disappears in that moment, you don't deserve to be there.
Yeah, I mean
I am not surprised. So at work, the chatter around the office was that Kevin Durant is done. So the team is done.
Okay.
I don't know if you heard similar. It was almost, from anyone that I talked to, it was almost like a foregone conclusion. I work with a couple Golden State fans, and one of them goes, well, guys, actually, we still have a chance. But even he sounded like he was doubting it. And I walked by the entire group, and I go, because that's all we do is talk basketball, basically, at work, when we're not talking about work. So I was like, Golden State wins.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, the series still? And I'm like, no, tonight. They still win tonight.
Yeah.
In Houston.
Yeah.
I think some people would have said Golden State might still win the series, but I was fully convinced that they would win yesterday. Steph Curry scared me in the first half, but then 33 in the second half, the most he's ever had in a half in the playoffs. People forget they have 2 MVPs on that team. Then they had a championship before Kevin Durant,
right,
and almost another one that they should have had.
And honestly, they play. I mean, I love the addition of KD on that team, but I think they actually play a little more interesting without him. It leaves it more up to Steph to do, and my doubt would be more toward if he didn't come back for the finals. I still think they probably could beat any of those Eastern teams without him. They still got to get through Denver or Portland. I'm still taking Portland to get to that Western Finals game, but I think probably Golden State will beat them.
You think? Okay, that was going to be one of my questions for you, is if you thought either Denver or Portland or neither had a better chance against the Warriors than the Rockets did.
Well, bias aside, I think that Portland has a better chance against Golden State than Denver does.
Okay. But do you think that Portland has a better chance than the Rockets did? Because I know a lot of people think the Rockets had the best chance of any team in the league to knock out the Warriors.
Without Nurk, no. I mean, the game where they got just dismantled by Denver. I mean, it was just clear what was missing in that. If Dame has an off night, there's not a lot they can do. They have these other pieces; they're great. I like all the other pieces, but Nurkic is a clear. I mean, we saw it. We knew it too going into the playoffs in general. Nurkic was going to be a loss. Now, I think Kanter has held his own. I think Kanter's very, very much an integral part of the team. He's not going anywhere either. I think he's going to be on that team. I think he'll probably finish his career there, honestly. He's good. And he's been clutch when they need him. And sometimes it's kind of fun. It's fun to watch Kanter too, because you kind of forget how good of a shooter he is from inside there, he like rebounding and shooting.
He's a great offensive talent.
Yeah. And he's been in parts of the OKC and parts with Denver. He's been a great defensive player too. Parts though.
Yeah.
And but again, you watch them play, and so that big game that Portland lost against Denver, every one of those shots just uncontested. No one guarding anyone. That was an ugly game.
There was a couple ugly games in this series. There's been, if you watch the Spurs-Denver series, there's been a lot of ugly Denver games. They make games ugly.
Yeah.
And that's how they like to win. And I think that's a good way to win in the playoffs, honestly.
Yeah.
It's not a consistent way to win.
No.
But, I don't know. They'll win ugly a couple times, and then, kind of like you alluded to, they'll go and blow you out all of a sudden.
I think against Golden State, Portland will win one at home.
So I think Portland beats Denver. I'm with you there.
Okay.
And I think that Portland beats Golden State.
I mean, I
think
love
they
it.
Play the Bucks in the championship.
I love hearing it. Charles is with you. Sir Charles Barkley, he's still taking him to go all the way.
Yep. I mean, I'm not surprised a lot of people had Houston beating Golden State. I'm just saying I wasn't sold on it. And until Harden even gets to a championship, I don't think I'm going to hop in on that bandwagon ever. But
nah.
Yeah, I think Peter's in. I understand what you're saying about Dame. When Dame's playing a bad game, they tend to fall off. But they do have other pieces. I think they have the best. They have the best bench by far left in the playoffs.
Oh yeah.
Although Denver does have a pretty good bench too. Golden State, it's depleted. But it seems like their players are willing to play the duration of the game. Didn't it seem like Curry never came out of that game last night?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it didn't seem like Harden came out for very long either.
No.
But the playoffs definitely change those rotations. They shrink down to, I don't know what theirs shrunk down to 7 or 8 total people that step on the court. But it'll be interesting to see Golden State move back to the old like style of ball movement.
Yeah.
They mentioned it last night during the game. Maybe they'll go back to the elevator screen that they patented a few years ago. I like some of the plays that they had before Durant, but I don't know if Curry can do old Curry every single night.
Yeah.
Because he seems hurt too. It's not that he seems hurt too. I think he kind of admitted he's hurt too.
Yeah.
They get a rest though now, no matter what.
Yeah.
Thanks to the 7-game series from Denver and Portland.
Yeah, they do.
So as a lifelong
Portland
fan
since the summer,
you got faith they win in Denver.
Yeah, I do.
So Denver was the best regular season home team, correct? But I mean, they gave up 1 to San Antonio. They've already given up 1 to Portland. I wouldn't be surprised if they gave up another one.
Man, me either. So in the game that they did beat Denver in Denver, of course, we wouldn't even be having this conversation had Portland actually not let them take a win in Portland.
Right.
But the same thing happened in Denver, though.
Yeah.
They snuck one by, but if you watch that game, they didn't really sneak one by. They were clearly more dominant in that game.
Right.
I mean, it came down to the wire still.
Yeah.
But man, if I think the key is they got to leave. Like, hopefully Murray has an off night, and
which he has been pretty inconsistent these playoffs. But when he gets hot,
he does
very hot.
And then you watch when he's hot, and all of the shots he's taking are completely uncontested.
Who do you think the best player in that series is? Do you think it's Dame Lillard, or do you think it's Jokic? I want to know who anyone thinks. I mean, it's hard to compare a point guard to a center.
Oof.
I think it's Damian Lillard, but
I think it's Lillard, but
I think Lillard's more important to his team. I think Jokic has Murray, and I know Dame has CJ, but I would say Denver has the better 1-2 punch.
Yeah.
But Portland has the most efficient player on the court on either team.
Right.
Another thing that's going to be really interesting is how much Zach Collins going to shoot, because I saw him make a corner 3 in this last game.
I know.
I also saw him miss a couple wide open shots.
Yeah.
And I believe he's airballed a couple deep shots in this series as well.
I'm also wondering how many fouls Zach Collins is going to get tomorrow. Man, he seems to be a foul machine.
He's guaranteed for 4, off the bench, which is crazy.
Right off the bench.
Yeah, he'll get two within the first 5 minutes he's in the game. No, so I actually think, because both teams do have pretty good benches, I think it comes down to Rodney Hood again, because I think he was the difference maker last game. And he's been the difference maker in a few games now.
Yeah.
He's long. They can play him at like 3 or 4 positions, really. He seems like he's gotten his confidence back as far as scoring goes.
Yeah.
And at 6'7", I think he's a defender you can put on anyone on Denver besides for Jokic as well.
Yeah, and I'd also throw in there, I would have liked to have seen, I think I saw this in a text from you the other day, I would have liked to have seen Layman had more minutes.
Or any minutes? He didn't play that last game, I don't think. Did he?
No.
They were pretty... Curry had a big game off the bench. Or Hood obviously had a huge game, and then Collins had a pretty good game too.
Yeah.
I think that's all they played. I think they played 3 guys off the bench.
Yeah.
So we're down to like those playoff 8-man rotations.
Yeah, because I don't think we even saw Leonard in there.
No, he didn't come in.
No.
I don't know if we've seen him for a while though.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just things get different, and also this time of the playoffs it becomes series dependent. So there could be a guy who didn't play any minutes in this series that could end up being a factor in the next. So.
Well, and that's the thing too. I was just gonna say, there's sometimes in those games too where, Al-Farouq Aminu has
I love that man.
He has sometimes these weird awakenings in these games too. Maybe that happens.
Yeah, his eyes get a little less bloodshot, and he comes into the human world.
He just comes alive and comes out of whatever Stranger Things.
Underneath or whatever.
Yeah, he comes out of there and does some amazing plays. It happens. We'll see. I'm excited about it.
Mo Harkless is that way too.
Yeah.
I would say for either player. They're actually, realistically, in my opinion, very similar players. Al-Farouq's got a little more upside on offense, but...
Harkless makes me nervous every time he goes up for shooting extra, like free throws, though.
Right. Oh, man.
God damn it, you got to make one of those, man.
Yeah, that's...
He doesn't even have a horrible percentage, but in the OKC series, he he seemed bad at the free throws. And then a few of the Denver games, he's like not making them.
So going back to last night's game.
Yep.
I mean, it did take a out of this world 33-point effort by Curry to even make it happen.
Right.
But what do you think Chris Paul's only going to get older. It seems like they're, besides for Paul and Harden and maybe Capella, they're totally down to just strip the rest of the team every offseason. They kind of showed it last year.
Yeah.
Maybe Gordon. Gordon's probably a guaranteed lock to stay, too. He fits the team pretty well. They'd be stupid to get rid of PJ Tucker. I think he is like the quiet reason that they always make it as far as they do, because he's willing to guard anyone, and he's been pretty stellar from the corner three.
Yeah.
But would you be surprised if they just stripped it all down and went and tried to get new pieces? Because it seems like people want to go to Houston. Like they would have fun playing there.
I think they're. So how long is Chris Paul supposed to? Well, how long is his contract?
I don't know. It's at least another year.
Yeah.
Well, no, they re-signed him last year.
Yeah.
They re-signed him last year, so he'll be there a few years.
So he'll keep
retire
those two.
with the Rockets.
Yeah, they'll keep those two, Harden and him. I just can't see them getting rid of Harden. You know,
They're not going to get rid of Harden. That's not what I was asking.
No. I just mean, for those two, right? But I just mean around them, though. I just don't know what they need.
They play two very contradicting styles of basketball. So there was points in this series where obviously they start Clint Capella, so they have a big guy out there who can protect the rim. And then their next lineup that they were going with was a lineup where either PJ Tucker or James Harden was playing center. So the tallest guy on their team on the court was 6'6", 6'7", and there had no one else besides that. 4 guards on the court, maybe 1 forward. If you can even call PJ Tucker a forward anymore. I mean, he was a power forward in college because he could be undersized there. But
right.
I mean, yeah, I get positionless basketball, but like 3 true point guards or shooting guards on the court at least.
Yeah.
They were guarding either Draymond or Kevin Durant when he was healthy, with either Harden or PJ Tucker.
See, and I'm always a fan, anyways, of getting a big in there.
So do they just keep doing that then? Like, do they just say, you know what, we're just gonna always do this? We'll keep Clint Capella, buy Nene, buy any other big man that we have, because they had Fareed, who never saw a minute in the playoffs.
Right.
Even though they went and got him. Maybe it was just series dependent, but it was weird to watch. It was kind of cool to watch also, a team playing with 4 guards and a small forward out there.
Yeah.
But
I mean, and they did almost,
maybe they just try to do more of that.
Steph went insane, they had, but they didn't. But that's the thing, is they didn't pull it off.
It was a traditional Warriors second half, and they had those types of third and fourth quarters before Kevin Durant. And if Kevin Durant leaves, they have more. But after he got hurt, I've changed how I feel about him staying or going. I think he stays now.
He stays now.
I think 100% he stays, especially if he doesn't make it back for the finals.
Oh yeah.
Then he's not going to get hurt, miss the rest of the playoffs, and leave.
Yeah.
He's not going to do that.
He'll stay. Yeah.
Then he'll stay. I think him getting hurt was the best thing for the team for keeping him. But I mean, if they don't win a championship this year, I guess it doesn't matter that they're keeping him for a following year.
Yeah.
But I think for him staying, this was the only way he probably would have stayed. But I think it happens now.
Do you think if he comes back and they lose out to Portland and don't even go to the finals, do you think he stays?
Then he leaves.
Then he leaves.
The only way I think he stays is if he comes back or doesn't. If he doesn't come back. I think if he comes back and they win the championship, he leaves. I think if he comes back and they lose the championship, he leaves. But I think if he doesn't come back, he stays. He has to stay injured for the rest of the playoffs to make him feel like he has to stay.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. If they don't go to the playoffs, if they don't go to the finals, I think he leaves.
But I think they said all the right stuff. Like when they interviewed Curry about it, every time they interviewed anyone on the team about it, they're like, well, he's carried our team. He's been the best player in the playoffs. They just sweet talked every interview to make it sound like they just really miss the guy and they're doing this for him and they're stepping up and rallying around their guy. And
they don't want to lose him.
You could tell that they're like, it's a post game interview. It's like, you're not really talking about this game, are you, bud?
Yeah. Well, that was like Kyrie Irving in his post game interview, with the about the Bucks, just how good they are, and I mean, honestly, it almost started devolving into like, they're just a good team, a lot of talent. I'm going to be available next season, but they're a really good team.
No, there's zero chance he'd go there.
No, I know, but
he plays Bledsoe's position, and Bledsoe has officially become a staple of that team. He's going to be gone, but I do think the rest of the Celtics did a similar politicking job because, like, when they interviewed Smart, he's like, it wasn't Kyrie's leadership that we lost. Like, the media is kind of dumb for saying that,
Yeah.
So they're all saying the right stuff right now, but...
Do you think the players want him, though? Do you think the players want Kyrie?
Absolutely. He's the best player on their team. And they all know that. They wouldn't even... I mean, they're a good regular season team without him.
Yeah.
They had a great record without him in the regular season, and they made a good run last year, but this is not the East from last year.
Right.
The Bucks are a different team. They wouldn't come close to beating the Bucks without Kyrie. They are not beating the 76ers without Kyrie. They are not beating the Raptors for sure without Kyrie. And,
right.
I mean, the three teams that are left are all better than them if they don't have Kyrie. And clearly at this point, even with Kyrie. But
here's something I thought about. So we have Toronto and Philly still.
Yeah.
As a Portland fan, I kind of need Toronto to lose. Because I don't think Cantor can go to Toronto. I don't think he can go international anywhere. The last time they played Toronto, he wasn't able to fly out of.
Yeah.
So he has some issues passport-wise, traveling-wise, because of because of Greece or whatever.
Right. Well, I would say besides for obviously the Bucks are the top choice to win the East, but yeah, the Raptors are the next team that could. So
they need to lose.
A lot has to happen for that to happen, but Cantor is fasting right now.
Right.
Because he's doing Ramadan.
You're right.
So who knows? By then he might not have any energy left in the tank, anyways.
Maybe.
He seems fine though.
Yeah,
he seems like he has plenty of energy. He looks a little more chiseled in the face though.
He does. I think ideally, I would like to see Philly and Portland. I think that'd be a fun series.
Yeah, but that just doesn't scream to me the two best teams in basketball.
No.
It's the two teams I would like to watch.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I think Milwaukee versus Portland would be a super fun series to watch.
It would. I don't think
who separated their shoulder? Did I miss something?
Oh, Cantor.
Cantor separated his shoulder. Why did we not just talk about that?
Well, it's like a minor separation. He's been battling it all series.
Oh.
I mean, he's been dealing with it all series. He's got these pads on his shoulder, and he's been dealing with it all. He hurt himself in one of the first games, so he's been all right. I mean, he keeps
they're gonna run out of bigs eventually.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. They got a lot of bigs though. I feel like they have more bigs than any other team. I feel like they have a lot of. Portland for whatever reason they're just like. Yeah, more.
Yeah, they'll just take whatever Houston doesn't want. They're like, we don't want those guys.
Right, and they're like, yeah, we'll take them.
Yeah. If they're over 6'10",
Houston's like, oh, too tall.
Yeah.
We like the actor. We like that Hollywood actor model. We want some short guys that fit on the cameras better.
Yeah, exactly.
A basketball game.
We're Tom Cruising it all the way across the board.
In an NBA basketball game.
Yeah, that's all.
Perfect.
That's all they care about.
Yep. Let's just do that.
Yeah. So I don't know how fasting impacts your recovery time though either.
No, I don't either.
But like I said, he's important for them.
But he's got the power of his God behind him. Whatever.
There it is. If we're talking about not top tier, not A level people on a team, Rodney Hood and Cantor are the important B level people on the Portland Trailblazers. And Al-Farouq Aminu always, but
yeah, fair.
I don't know. Portland's just got a lot of those guys.
They do. And that's the ones we've mentioned. You still got Collins. You got Layman. You got Miles Leonard.
Yeah, but he doesn't play anymore.
Not really.
He was the odd man out for sure in that whole thing. Even when one of their bigs went down, he still ended up being the odd man out.
Yeah, they play Layman and Collins a lot more than they play Leonard. Which it kind of makes sense. Leonard's he's hit or miss.
He's always been that way.
Yeah.
I think he's always had a lot of upside, which is probably why he's still in the NBA, but
right.
I don't know if he left Portland, I don't know if a lot of other teams pick him up.
Although Houston should think about it.
No, he's way too big for them. They wouldn't be a fan of that.
I will say this for Miles Leonard: his Instagram game is fantastic.
Well, and that's what's important.
That is, for Portland, that's what's important.
Yeah, that's. But what I was gonna say is, Denver has like Beasley, Morris, and Barton all off the bench. Those are 3 guys who can score for them, and I don't know if any of them did last game. So that was also huge. I don't know if that happens 2 games in a row.
Yeah.
It was just that was the difference in the game, right?
And I think this game tomorrow is gonna be a hard fought game. I don't think it's gonna be a blowout.
No, I think this is not going to be neither team scoring 119 again.
No.
And there's been a couple Denver games like that. The Spurs series, there was a couple games under 100, and I thought Denver would lose all of those games. When they get ugly like that, I just didn't have any faith in them. A low-scoring game for a team that usually is used to winning by a pretty substantial margin. But it's the playoffs, man. It's so fun.
It is, yeah.
Players start playing defense. Like Houston was trapping a bunch last night and the game before. I mean, they had to. They didn't have a choice. But it's fun to watch in an NBA game, full court defense.
If Portland and Philly all lose out, who are you gonna root for?
Anybody from the East. I like all 3 teams left in the East. I would root for Kawhi.
Milwaukee.
I'd root for Kawhi.
Sure.
I'd root for Milwaukee. And obviously I'd root for Philly. So I have no problem with any of those teams. If Portland loses out, I just don't want either other team from the West to do well.
Fair.
Yeah, I don't think I would watch the Denver Golden State series.
No.
That's how much I care for the. I'll watch it because
I'll watch it too.
If I don't, I won't be able to talk about it. But
I'll watch it too. But it'll be on my other TV on mute.
I don't know how I would feel emotionally. It was like when I was watching Golden State versus Houston. I was like, who do I want to win this game? There was parts of certain games where I was like, why do I want Golden State to do so well right now?
Right.
I've never felt these emotions before.
Right.
Kevin Durant kind of won me back though, with that whole I'm Kevin Durant speech. I don't know why that won me back for him, but because he was my favorite player in Oklahoma City, out of all players. And then he went to Golden State, and I just absolutely have despised him over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And after that, I'm Kevin Durant speech, I'm like, man, I think I like this guy again.
Yeah.
I think I like this guy a lot. And I like players in the latter halves of their career too. So I feel like once Curry gets a couple years older, I'm going to root for him because then he's going to be the old dude shooting deep threes.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be into that. Or he's going to be one of those guards whose game just completely falls apart once he hits 33.
Klay Thompson's already really likable.
He is, except for he walked out of the Avengers movie I read on the internet.
He did?
First hour.
Bored?
I guess so. He wasn't into it.
Whoa.
I will say I wasn't into the first hour either, but I don't want to give any spoiler. Actually, it's past.
That's past spoiler
It's
time.
been out. I don't like time travel. Any time travel movie I give up on.
Yeah.
And that was what the first hour was.
Well, so the funny thing about that is I do like in the movie how they make references to all the other time travel movies because I was like, I don't like time travel either. Mostly because of those other movies. There's so many unanswered things, and I'm like,
And they pointed out all those reasons why.
They do.
And then there's so much in this one that by the end of it, you're like, loophole, loophole, loophole.
Yeah.
Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. This is so bad.
Yeah.
And then the end's still good, and at the same time, you're like, I'm gonna be upset about this. If I keep thinking about it.
Yeah.
The more I think about the plot of this movie, anyways, that's all I'll say about it.
Yeah.
It's still a great movie.
It is good.
I wouldn't have walked out of it. I guess if you're that rich and can just go do whatever you want at any time, you don't stick around when you're bored for a second.
You'd think you could do a private viewing, though, you know?
He probably walked out of his private viewing. This is probably what it was.
It's about bored.
He's just like, no, I'm going to go do something else now. I'm rich. I can go do anything. I'm just going to go hop on an airplane and go somewhere else.
How have you been liking Game of Thrones besides the last episode?
Oh, I love the last episode.
Did you?
I didn't like the episode before it. The war.
No, I didn't either.
I couldn't see anything.
Yeah.
I rewatched it too, and I'm like, nope, doesn't matter what device I watch it on. I can't see a thing. They did that on purpose. They're clearly covering up budget flaws.
Yeah.
No, I loved the last episode. I said, so everyone does these Deadpools, right? Who's going to die on Game of Thrones. And during the battle, I was like, no one important. They're like, everyone's going to die, dude. This is the episode where everyone dies, dude. No. And I'm like, no, they're not. You want to know why? Because that's not what this show has ever been.
No.
This show, they don't kill people in big battles. They kill people point blank. They slit their throat when you least expect it. They're backstabbed by someone they know. Like, that's not how these important characters die.
Yeah, they killed in the episode. They killed one C character
and maybe a B character. I actually had like all of those called. They were all on my Deadpool. I had a perfect Deadpool, except for I had someone else who was also supposed to die that did not. Because my theory is, once you bang a Stark, you're dead.
Oh yeah, that.
So there was one person, but you know what? He got his heart ripped out the next episode. So
yes. You know how many people thought they were gonna kill Brienne of Tarth, and I was like, she is not dying in this episode, you idiots.
Yeah, or ever, because she got killed in last episode too.
Oh,
heart ripped out. You know,
man, heartbreaking.
Sad. You know, all these people would rather be dead.
The key to this is don't bang sister bangers.
Yeah, fact.
Brienne of Tarth.
Yeah.
Is that a spoiler?
No, you already spoiled quite a bit.
That's all right.
I mean, just by saying she's still alive is kind of a spoiler.
Yeah. Hey, everybody, she's still alive.
And 6'3" in real life. I just Googled it, and I was like, whoa.
She's as tall as I am.
She's a thick bitch.
Uh,
Which actually just proves how tall the guy who plays Jaime Lannister has to be, because he's only like an inch or two shorter than her.
Yeah.
It also proves how short everyone else is, because they don't...
I want to say I do feel like 6 episodes is not enough for what they were wanting to do. I just feel like 3 episodes left. It just seems...
2 episodes left. Tomorrow and the next week. Episode 5 and episode 6 are all that's left.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, that's right. 6 episodes. I forgot that this was 4 that we just watched. So, I just feel like 2 left. It's kind of...
I don't know. I actually feel like what else do they have to do? I already know. I mean, I have a pretty good idea of what I think is going to happen.
Apparently, there's some big spoiler online. I haven't seen it. I'm not going to. I still haven't seen the Starbucks cup, though. Haven't seen it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I haven't.
I had someone send it to me like 2 hours after I watched the episode. I'm like, well, you guys are fast. Apparently, it's not Starbucks. It's just
a
coffee cup.
Why are people using Starbucks then?
Because everyone thinks they're trying to like subliminally advertise as the Starbucks. If that was the case, there'd be one of like the house's like logos would be a reminiscent of a Starbucks logo. If that's what they were trying to do to us. You have completely derailed my sports talk, by the way.
Hey,
what just happened?
On my videos, online, real quick, they put climate change links underneath one of my last videos to stop misinformation.
Oh, like another Good Samaritan did that to you.
Yeah, that's awesome.
They're trying.
Adam just told me that. He's like, "You made it."
They think you believe, huh?
They do. You should. If anybody gets a chance, go online, go on YouTube, watch Time Spent Poorly. I've been making these videos. Brave Sam. I'll break character on this show. It's obviously it's me. I'm not a climate change. I'm not like a big conspiracy buff. I think it's funny. It's fun.
Yeah.
I'm making these videos. Someone commented on the last video I had, not this one I posted today, but on the last one, just like they're like, idiot. The Earth is this much around. What facts are you actually finding that the Earth is flat? And like deadpan serious. So either they're trolling or they're not. But Ward, in his excellence, is like, look it up on Yahoo search. It's out there. The information's out there. If you Bing it, you can find it. Like Bing.
Yeah. If you Bing it, you can do it.
Yeah. Good stuff.
God, that just reminds me of like anyone making any like argument ever. They're like, yeah, but maybe you spent too much time looking at facts only on one side and not trying to Google the opposite to prove yourself wrong. Maybe you haven't done enough of that.
Know.
Maybe you haven't done enough of those things. Get out of town.
If you watch the videos, and maybe I guess that's true. If you don't know me, you're not gonna know who I am in real life. But
I'm glad that these people are taking you serious.
I think it's great. And Ward, instead of being like, oh yeah, this is satire and blah blah blah, like this is satire. Like, hey, subscribe to our channel. We make videos like this. This is satire. Ward's like, because the first one that commented on, I was like, they're like, nice parody of flat earthers, and I was like, what parody, snowflake? So we both like to start engaging as Brave Sam.
Go sit on your bidet, you little bitch. I always want to say that to someone.
That's good.
Go home and sit on your bidet. You
I think he calls somebody a brainiac. Like, you know,
yeah, nice brain. You got a huge brain, don't you?
what are you, smart?
What are you, one of those educated folk?
What do you think, you're smart or something? Do you think you're better than me?
Why don't you go home and sit on your bidet, you little bitch?
I like that.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, we can get back to it here, but the real sports talk, you know, that we need to do, that the people deserve. Fights today, right?
Yeah, the UFC fights are tonight.
Do you want to cover your wins at the end of this?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll probably only like cover the last. I'll cover like half the main card. I don't need to do like every single fight all the way through, but I'll do the 3 main ones.
You can do whatever you want, baby. All right. We haven't talked about wrestling in quite some time, but I wanted to bring this up. It looks like the brand split's going away as far as Raw and SmackDown. It looks like they're trying to find, like, Fox has clearly reached out and said, hey, we want the same stars that are on Raw. And duh. Like, they're not going to want just the B squad. Which, by the way, SmackDown's actually been a better product, so I don't know if Fox needs everybody that's been on Raw. But it's interesting when you see a network changing a storyline of a show and how they're trying to work it in. So they try doing this wild card rule to, like, bring these... There's a wild card. You know, Vince McMahon, it's a wild card rule. I'm a genius. Whatever, any 3 stars from whatever show can show up on this show, you know, or whatever. So the reason why I'm bringing this up, I'm wondering, what do you think about? Do you think that this deal with Fox is still? We talked about it last year, how it was a really good deal for WWE. Do you think it's a good deal for Fox? Like, I want to know who you think is benefiting more from bringing SmackDown.
Aren't they
to
putting
Fox.
this on like a weird night?
It's Friday nights.
Fox has nothing to lose on a Friday night.
Right, okay.
Unless they're putting a ton of money into this, because like the thing is, there's just some people who aren't going to get into Friday night shows.
Right, which is originally, I think when we talked about it on the show, we did say that Friday night's a great night for it because the people who watch wrestling will specifically go watch it on Friday.
Right, they don't care.
And nobody really flips through channels on a Friday night, except for losers.
Yeah.
Get a life, losers.
If you're flipping through channels on a Friday night, if you even have the ability to flip through channels.
Yeah.
We scroll through channels now.
Sure.
In 2019.
Do you think, though, so, because Fox does not have UFC anymore. ESPN has it.
Nope. And ESPN is putting out a far superior product.
Do you think Fox is at a more of a loss gaining, like, do you think there's anything to them gaining WWE and losing UFC?
Nope. I think that's
isolated.
Yeah, I don't think they're. We are starting to see it become more of a similar audience, though.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But I don't think that it's a replacement. You know what I mean?
And that's what I'm genuinely wondering. Like,
yeah.
And if it was a replacement, why?
Yeah, but I don't think them keeping UFC would have been a huge move either. One, because they would have had to have dished way more money into it. And two, I don't think Fox could have pushed the brand more than they did. They did a good enough job transitioning it from Spike to Fox Sports. And
Which
that,
is crazy,
that grew,
by the way.
And that grew the sport. And then ESPN is the only thing that can take it and grow it to the next level.
Yeah.
And they have. And I think they've done a terrific job of it. They have fights almost every weekend now. And they're almost all watchable. There was some of the Fox Sports like fight nights. So not a pay-per-view, and not a Fox card, but it was the Fox Sports fight nights.
Right.
Weren't very good. But like some of them were duds. But these ESPN ones are good almost every single weekend. Like Dynamite main events. They always seem to be putting on shows. It seems like Sean Shelby and their matchmakers have stepped up their game even since being on ESPN. ESPN's better at transitioning through the card. They don't like, if a fight ends early, they don't fill it with 20 minutes of filler. Instead, like they're like, no, we're ESPN. We're sports. We play sports. So when this fight ends early, let's get the next one going. We don't have to have a 3-hour event. We can have a 2-hour event.
Yeah.
And then it's done early. and then you can go have your snacks and your sandwiches.
That's true. I mean, it's not followed by. They don't have to do the booth, you know.
Yeah.
Like it's like with TNT. Does anybody watch the full? I mute halftime, man. I can only watch about 4 minutes of those guys.
I watch all the TNT ones.
You do?
I watch Inside the NBA for the whole 2 hours afterwards too, if it's on for 2 hours.
You do it.
I love listening to them talk.
They always they hurt Shaq.
Emmy nominated, baby.
They just hurt Shaq's feelings so much. I can't take it.
Yeah, every time that I don't know, it's like twice a week Shaq threatens to beat up Charles.
You could
or
tell,
someone tries to race Kenny to the board.
You could tell Shaq they upset him a lot on that show.
Well, you can tell that Shaq probably is used to being, the diesel, big macho guy, and he's probably used to people not intentionally trying to upset him. I'm sure if people avoided upsetting you your whole life because they were scared, and then all of a sudden you're around people who are like,
they're giants too.
Yeah, but they're also like intelligent adults who can control their emotions, and they're like, no, we can say things that you disagree with, and you should be able to handle that. And then he can't handle it.
Yeah.
And also, like, Charles is like, I don't think Charles means anything like spitefully. I think Charles is just like a smart ass.
Yeah. Oh, he's a butt. Yeah.
He's a butt. He's probably been a butt his whole life. Like, he's like Draymond. Like, Draymond's been portrayed as a tough guy a few times in his career. But if someone tried to fight Draymond, Draymond would get the hell out of there.
I wonder, do you think Draymond's the new version of Charles?
Not as good, but offensively, but yeah, similar. I know Charles wouldn't hate to hear that.
He hates Draymond.
Well, they just don't like each other, but I mean, it's like they're that personality type that if they met, like, I meet people like me sometimes, and I'm like, oh, I fucking hate you. And people are like, I figured you would love him. He's like funny like you, and he has antics like you. And I'm like, no, that guy sucks. And I'm like, I don't think he's like me at all, but he probably is.
You're describing the entire episode of South Park when they're gonna go destroy Family Guy.
That's a classic episode.
That's your life is that episode where they're like, I thought you would love that show. It's totally your humor. No, it's not my humor.
It's not Cartman's humor.
It's not Cartman's humor. He hates it. That's good. That's funny.
Yeah.
You would love this guy. That's like when you try to... Similarly, when you date somebody and you have like a friend of the same gender and you're like, you guys would like each other. Because you really still want to hang out with the same friend, you know?
Right.
And then they meet and the girlfriend's like, no, I don't like her.
No, she's awful.
And you're like, damn it. Well, this is it.
I mean, they usually don't like your guy friends either. In most situations.
That's true.
But that's just because they're battling for time at the beginning. After a couple of years, they're like, please have guy friends. Please get away from me for a day.
I don't, that's been nice about, I'll say that live on the show. My future missus have not had that issue.
3 weeks away.
Yeah, 3 weeks away.
Baby.
I compare you to a kiss from the rose. No? Is that gonna?
Yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about?
You like that one?
I loved Batman Forever.
That's the best Seal song, I would say. Also, side note, it's the only Seal song I know.
I don't know another Seal song.
I always felt like I could sing the national anthem really well if the national anthem was "Kiss from a Rose" by Seal.
Yeah. Well, there's that episode of It's Always Sunny where Dee does that. She's like, I'm not gonna sing the national anthem. It's the wrestling episode where they're the Birds of War.
Oh, that's a good episode. Yeah.
And she's like, I'm not gonna sing the national anthem. I'm not doing that. And instead, she goes out and sings that instead.
That's hilarious. I totally forgot they did that.
Yeah, same thing.
No, that's why I channeled that joke.
It came out of your subconscious.
It did, because I did tweet the other day that I could sing the national anthem really well if it was "My Own Worst Enemy" by Lit.
I think everyone could.
Who does not know the words of that song?
But I heard that song the other day, and those are the worst, most not thought out lyrics ever.
No, it's a stupid
and
song.
He also rhymes me with me like 3 times in a row.
Uh-huh. Yep.
It's a bad song.
It's a bad song.
But
if you pick up a guitar and you're like, I need to learn how to play a song this afternoon or someone's going to kill me.
Yeah. That's what you would
Lit, My Own Worst Enemy.
No, you don't even say that. You just pick up a guitar. You're like, is this a guitar? And then you just start playing.
Yeah, you're like, is this a guitar?
Yeah.
I
am I right-handed or left-handed?
That's a skit.
Yeah.
That's a skit.
Yeah.
Gotta show that.
Skit number 2 that we've written on this show. Skit number 2 that we've written and will never get performed.
Nope. But it gets fleshed out in the show. Maybe one day it'll be like Tusk. Maybe we're doing the future Kevin Smith thing where we're describing the movie Tusk, and then we'll make it. But then nobody will watch it except for weirdos.
I was working on a bit the other day, it would be like a YouTube skit type of thing.
Okay.
It was like, I was thinking about being like a pit kid growing up, you know, like kids that like hardcore dance and like mosh pits.
Okay.
But it's like old pit kid. And so he's like, he's like has to fight the urge to pit all the time, but he's like 30. And so like he's like at work and he like drops his pen on the ground. And like when he goes to pick it up, like he just wants to start throwing bows, but he like stops.
What about at weddings and stuff too?
Oh, like all the time, yeah,
you
exactly.
Throw it in there.
Everyone's like, yeah, it's like no, or it's like a mitzvah or something, you know. And they're pushing the person up on the chair, and he just wants to like nudge someone out of the way and get in there and get after it.
That's good. I would watch that.
Yeah, like he has a hard time not stepping.
I think you could alternate that with like skanking too.
Oh yeah. No, but like it's also him at like all these events wearing very like adult clothes, but then he still has like scenester hair.
Yeah. I love that.
We were talking about Garth Brooks's alter ego last night. Because you know he had the black goth hair.
He did.
God.
Terrible idea.
What an amazing man. That's hilarious.
It was Chris Haynes?
Chris Gaines.
Gaines?
Chris Gaines. He made an entire persona documentary. He built an entire thing around this fake human.
My favorite band is Chris Gaines. My favorite singer, songwriter. Chris Gaines.
Chris Gaines is my favorite artist.
What if you met somebody who genuinely...
What if you met someone who genuinely didn't know that was Garth Brooks still? Like they're like...
What if we did this show right now? Yeah. We did the show that we did today where we've legitimately spoiled Endgame and Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And somebody was like, yeah, I've seen all those. But then we talked about Chris Gaines.
And they're like, that's Garth Brooks?
That's Garth Brooks. And then that's the comments we get on YouTube are how we spoiled that it's Chris Gaines is Garth Brooks.
Yeah, we weren't supposed to know that till Chris Gaines was on his deathbed.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert, everybody. Chris Gaines is actually Garth Brooks.
I actually hope that when Garth Brooks goes to die, he dies as Chris Gaines. And then everyone's like, what happened to Garth?
Like, I thought they were really close. I thought Garth would be at this funeral.
Yeah. Well, where's Garth right now? His good buddy Chris Gaines is dead.
Chris always was so much more tormented, you know? Garth just sang country music.
Makes sense he died earlier.
Oh, man. That's a good bit, too.
Yeah.
I do love that he created a complete alternate.
Or when he does actually die, like he has like 2 funerals, so like they have a second one where someone just goes and puts the wig on him.
And that's in his will.
Like someone has to put the wig on him. Do the second half of the funeral.
That's in Garth Brooks's will because he's worried that fans of Chris Gaines wouldn't know.
Or that they're just not going to get their proper due. They're not going to get to say goodbye. And he knows that they'll want to.
I want to meet Garth Brooks so I can ask him who he prefers. Chris or Garth?
You know he prefers. You know, Chris Gaines is everything he ever wanted to be.
Can we do that? Can we just build a person we'd rather be?
I think I'm going to now.
Is Brave Sam who I want to be? No.
I don't think you want to be Brave Sam.
But I have fun doing it.
It's fun to watch.
I want to be, maybe I do want to just be ignorant enough to not ever look up any facts. I just take a hardline stance on stuff.
Yeah. You know, I don't... I like people that don't look up facts that are willing to admit they don't. And they're like, yeah, I'm probably never right about anything because I don't do any research. I love those people.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's the opposite. It's like people that are like, this is for sure how I feel.
Oh, yeah.
But I've never Googled anything in my
I
whole
saw
life.
the internet on a Facebook once. Or I saw the video on a Facebook post one time. So that's what I believe now.
Most people don't even, like, watch the video, though. They just read the headline. And then they, like, spew it as garbage, like, to somebody, like, the next person they see.
That's true, and we've been doing that forever because we, you know, when you check out at the grocery store, you see, like, the tabloids there, and you're like, what? That woman gave birth to a bat boy. well, time to go live my life.
Yeah. And then you go home and you're like, hey, husband, did you know so-and-so gave birth to a bat boy?
And he's like, oh my God, no.
And he's like 7 Coors Lights deep. And he's like, that sounds believable.
Was it in Florida?
Yeah. And then he hits her and goes to bed.
Sad story. This week on Lifetime.
Yeah. So anyways, it's a bummer there's no basketball tonight.
I know.
I thought, there's two game 7s left and they put them both on the same day. Now I do like Sunday games because they start them earlier.
Yeah.
But in this situation, I'll be driving home tomorrow, so I have to hustle home to just watch one of the games.
I think Portland is the
5.
first one.
No, they're on at 5.
Oh, they are?
Yeah. The other game's at 1.
Oh, okay.
So Portland's on at 5, I believe, back home my time.
Okay.
So I'm going to have to get out of here by 11 to make it.
Yeah.
But that'll be fine. I think I'm going to make it. I think Portland wins the game. Who do you have? We haven't even talked about this yet. We've completely neglected this series.
Okay.
Philly or Toronto? Who wins tomorrow? Is the Drake curse real?
If Drake is there, they lose.
It's in Toronto. He's going to be there.
They lose.
You think they lose?
Mm-hmm.
I think they win. I think the Raptors win. I think Kawhi absolutely dominates, as he is known to do. I think that these playoffs are him just establishing he's top 5.
I'll tell you this: I want to watch Milwaukee and Toronto.
Yeah, but I mean, I'd also like to watch Milwaukee and Philly.
Same here.
I just, with this whole Joel Embiid always seeming a little banged up, and he's had a lot of bad games these playoffs. A lot of them. They've been winning in spite of him in some games.
Yeah.
If he's not at his best, I don't want them to advance. I think it's a wasted spot. I think we're gonna get a more fun to watch, like potentially 7-game series out of Toronto and Milwaukee. So even though I do like watching Philadelphia, they're one of the teams I really enjoy watching. If they're not fully healthy, I don't want them to advance.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's how I feel about it. But I think genuinely, regardless of how Joel Embiid plays tomorrow, I think Kawhi is going to play lights out, and I think the Raptors win.
I think the Lakers and the 76ers should trade straight across Embiid for LeBron. Straight across.
I mean, yeah, amazing. Amazing idea.
Thanks. Oh, we can talk about that real quick. Let's talk about the botch job. The botch job that the Lakers did, not getting Ty Lue.
Is that a botch job?
Botch job on somebody.
But are we just catering to old man LeBron and getting him whatever he wants, or are they trying to build a real team that can compete for a championship?
Good question. Why can't it be both?
I don't think it can be both.
I don't know that the coach changes anything there, right?
At this stage in LeBron's career,
now.
you cannot build a team around him. I don't think it can be both.
No.
I think they need to go get someone better than him.
Yeah.
I think for the first time in his career, he needs to actually cater to that instead of say he's catering to that. I don't know.
My future father-in-law thinks that he should become a player coach. He should become the coach, like a player coach, and then bring in Kevin Durant as the star.
I don't think Kevin Durant goes there at all. I think if he gets anyone, an A-lister, he's getting Kyrie. But I think he's more likely to get like a B-lister like Kemba. Because I don't think Kemba's got a strong enough personality to where like Kemba's going to try to like immediately take like first fiddle in that situation.
Sure.
But I don't know. I think they could get him. I think that's someone they could definitely land. But I actually also think that maybe him and Kyrie have made up enough to where that could happen.
I've been saying
especially if
been saying that.
Especially if Kevin Durant doesn't leave Golden State, because then why is Kyrie going to New York alone?
Right. He's not.
Yeah.
I don't think.
And it doesn't make sense for him to go to Brooklyn because D'Angelo Russell is their point guard. So, and I know he can play too because he's just a shooter, but
yeah,
I think he wants to be their point guard, and I think he's getting better at it.
Yeah.
So I don't think Kyrie goes to Brooklyn.
No.
He goes to New York if Durant goes to New York. And if Durant doesn't go to New York, he goes to LA or stays in Boston.
He's probably going to stay in Boston ultimately.
You think so?
Well,
I think they're sweet talking him, but I don't know. He looked like a little grumpy Gus after the couple of those games.
He did look a little grumpy. Yeah. We'll see. All right, I'm going to play some music. And I want to know what you think for some UFC.
All right. So, the fights tonight are in Brazil. I'm going to do the final three. So I'm going to start with the third to main event.
Okay.
That's Jose Aldo versus Alexander Volkanovski. Volkanovski is 19-1. He is all the craze right now. Boy, is Alexander Volkanovski hot right now. Boy, is he hot. He's all the craze.
He's so hot right now.
He's the guy no one's talking about,
Okay.
but he's pretty good.
Okay.
He's been dominant since he joined the UFC. Jose Aldo is not an old man. He seems like an old man because he's been in the UFC forever. He's still in his early 30s, and his last couple fights, if he's not fighting Max Holloway, he wins the fight. So I think he does win tonight. Anderson Silva,
Back at it.
back at it. Quick turnaround after the Adesanya fight. I think he tried to call out a flashy American who he thinks he can beat because the guy's going to stand and strike with him. I think the older he gets, the more people catch his chin. He got lucky in the Adesanya fight that Adesanya seemed like he never put 100% in any of those punches because a lot of them grazed him. And although he never looked like he'd win the fight, Anderson Silva put on a show. I'm just worried he's going to try to put on a show in Brazil and get caught again. But weirdly, this is like a dead even. I think like Vegas has this as like a no one has the odds in their favor. Wishful thinking. I hope Anderson Silva wins, and that's going to at old 40 like a 43-year-old. I think he pulls it out in the co-main event.
You want him to win it.
I want him to win it. I do. I root for people in the twilights of their career. I rooted for Kobe his final 2 seasons also.
Okay.
He's become Kobe to me now.
Yeah.
The only fighter in the twilight of their career I would not have rooted for was George St. Pierre because I think he's a bitch.
I'd probably go Randy Couture just because he's such a douchebag. No, not Couture. I'm sorry.
No, Couture was so likable.
I mean Ortiz. I'm sorry.
He was trying to win championships. In his
Not
40s.
Randy Couture. I'm sorry. He's
Ortiz. Yeah, I actually.
Ortiz is the wife beater, right?
Yeah.
Couture's in some of my favorite movies. He's in one of my favorite movies,
Expendables.
The Expendables.
Yeah.
The classic hit film, The Expendables.
The classic hit trilogy.
Is he in all three? I don't know.
I don't know either. I didn't watch all 3. I didn't watch all 1.
You didn't watch even the first one?
I watched the first 5 minutes. And I was like, this movie's pretty expendable.
Rhonda tries doing the third one.
Yeah, she tried. That's what I heard.
Did. Not great.
Yeah.
She's fine. Actually, she's actually okay in that one. Antonio Banderas is in the third one, though, and it's great.
So are you saying that all of the movies are good?
They're all movies.
I cannot dispute that. I cannot do it. I will not even try.
Okay.
Title fight.
They were all made.
Title fight. Rose Namajunas is finally back. The champion has returned. She looked great in both of her title defenses too, by the way. But she's been out for a while. I think she's been out since the big incident with Conor, throwing the thing through the bus, and she was afraid for a while.
Right.
I don't know what was going on there. But either way, she's been out for so long that she is actually the underdog to Jessica Andrade. Andrade? I'm probably not saying that right. It's probably Andrade.
Yeah.
It's Andrade. It is Andrade. She is considered the new up-and-coming Brazilian. This is supposed to be the passing of the torch. That is why she is the main event, not Jose Aldo or Anderson Silva, because this is supposed to be her moment in Brazil. It's interesting that Rose is willing to go fight the challenger in her home country. I think that's because she knows she's got this bitch. Rose is the underdog. I think she is the most technical champion this weight division has ever seen. I don't know why she's the underdog. They clearly know something about Jessica that I don't know. She's got size on her, too. She's got size. She's got reach. I think she's more technical. I think Jessica is that new style of women's MMA fighter, though, where they punch like a freaking man and just put people down. So that's scary. I think that's what they're assuming is going to happen, is that she's just going to get really technical with her punches and light Rose up early.
She punches like a man.
But I think Rose wins it. I think Rose is going to chop the legs and take her slowly. I think she's going to take her slow. I don't think she's going to take her quick.
It's going to be a sensual.
It's going to be
fight.
it's going to be a sensual 5 rounds.
5 rounds.
Rose wins.
Okay.
Champ wins.
Nice.
And then we move on to the next one.
Move on to the next one.
Move on. That's it.
That's some good analysis. Well,
They were words.
they were spoken. Sang in some places.
I think I went 2 underdogs. Every time I pick underdogs, by the way, for anyone who watches the show, I'm never right. If I go like 1 underdog, maybe. But if I go like all underdogs, you guys are screwed. Don't trust me.
You're hopeful though.
These are barely underdogs though. These are not big spreads. These are like coin flips. I'm sure they'll change by the end of the day.
Well, thanks everybody for listening to the show. Thanks Zach for being up in northern Idaho for the show. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. That's Sports on TSPN. Follow Zach and I on Twitter at QuackSwan, at Derek on TSPN. Make sure you go to our YouTube and watch other stuffs on there. And have a good weekend. NAIA World Series starts pretty soon. Pretty excited about it. Everybody have a great weekend and go Warriors.
Go Warriors.